Hey guys, this is Bruce Marshall from Simpler Trading with the nightly market update and video for Wednesday, November the 7th. And I've got the S&P on the chart here. We'll start with that. If you did not see today, we had a pretty massive rally. S&P was up 58 points. And from the open here, this is the open bell. Gapped up, and notice here we had about plus 1,300, almost 1,400 ticks. And typically that means that you fade that, and we did a little bit right there, but then it just kept going, just steady all day long, higher, higher, higher. Again at 58 points, and as you can see over here, our volatility's just dropped, all day long. The VIX actually ended up, we're back down about 16, a little over 16 the VIX, down about 3.5 today alone. That's a pretty big move. So let me clear these out, and we'll take a look at things. So again, I just want to look at the S&P here. Really kind of unexpected. I thought we might get a move off of the election. The whole thing, this is keyed off the election. That was a big unknown, big variable that's taken off the table now, right? And it was widely expected that the Democrats win the House, Republicans keep the Senate, and that goes into gridlock, and which is actually good for the market. So that's kind of what I was wondering. I kind of thought it might be baked in already, and that we wouldn't get this much of a reaction. But as you can see, we got a pretty serious reaction here to the upside. Let me back this out a little bit and look at a couple of other things that are important. We've got, I wanted to show you guys this. This is a 5-day chart. So there's Monday of this week, and there's Tuesday, and there's today. So we're at 2,700. So that's a 100-point move up in just 3 days. Pretty impressive. And if we go to a 10-day chart that you will see off of this low here, 2,600. There's 2,600. There's 2,700. 2,800. So we are really moving up, very fast. So if we back this out and look at, kind of where we are in the S&P, we are rocketing straight back up here as we did before, and I'm trying not to get too excited because, this is what happened last time, that we came off of a low, and we ripped straight up, and then it failed, and we were straight up again, and it failed, and we ended up coming back and retesting that low. Now I don't know if that'll happen, but our kind of key area is right here. And in fact, let me switch this over. We've got a skyline on our voodoo lines directly above us, right there. Now what can happen, and the other line before that is this, where we are right now. The actual level is 28.16 if I were to drill down on some lower time frames, and then we've got this 28.33. So what can happen? This can be, and there's also 28.25 in there. So this is going to be levels of resistance that we may not get through, and if we do not get through them, we could roll back over. Now I don't know if we will, and there's no reason to think to get bearish or anything like that. But that being said, these levels are drive a lot of money flow. So if we bounce off those, it's anybody's guess if we were to come back down here, or we have one of these where we get a slight pullback and then it continues. So maybe we hit here, slight pullback, and then continue. Once we get through this, that kind of opens it does open up the gate here for some higher levels. I was talking about this in the room earlier. I'd be really surprised if we get back up here without some issues, being like this. And I hope not like this, but we shall see. So anyway, the way that we're playing that is, at this point, it is tomorrow is technically, quote unquote pit bull low. So we may give back some, take a breather. It would make sense if we did take a pause tomorrow. The Dow was up 545 points today. It would make sense that we would pull back a little bit, kind of catch our breath. But on the next run up, it's going to be very critical, these next handful of levels above us. If we can get through that, we're going higher. If we don't, then we're back to retesting, or at least pulling back a little bit in the short run. So that being said, I'm continuing to be super light on trades, and starting, a lot of the individual stock names are starting to look a lot better. But again, I don't want to jump in too soon and think that, the coast is clear, when I think, we could be setting up for something like this. So, that being said, size very carefully, very small, and, be careful in the next, we may have an answer tomorrow, but I would say in the next week, we'll know if we're going to get through this level and go higher, or if we're going to retest, or not retest some lows, but if we're going to consolidate and pull back a little bit. And all the other indexes look the same. There's no real reason to go into the NASDAQ or the Russell, because they look the same. But we'll try to start getting a little more fine-tuned on some individual names as we go forward. But for now, caution, cash is king until we get a little more clarity. So that brings me to the last thing, is that I am doing tomorrow night, I'm doing a class on butterflies. You guys see me do these all the time in the room. I'm going to actually give you the setup and the nuts and bolts. I've got 2 setups we're going to cover in detail. And we'll be talking about that tomorrow night. I think this, in a market like this, where you're whipsawing back and forth and all that kind of stuff, I think this is kind of the trade you pull out of your toolbox. It's time, right? This is not time for, it's not time for selling premium and things like that. For the most part, to me, it's more of a this is more of a directional type trade, but it is a very scalable trade. So I hope you can make this class tomorrow night. We'll start at 7 tomorrow night, and again, we're going to talk about why you want to use it and how it works. This one's easy to defend. Usually don't get into that too much, but I'm going to get into that as well. But anyway, hope you guys can make it. I'll leave that up there. It's just simplertrading.com/bulletproof, right? Bulletproof right there. So hope you can make it. Again, we'll start tomorrow night, Thursday, November the 8th at 7 p.m. So hope to see you there. Thanks for the time, and I will see you tomorrow night.